Academic writing productivity tips from the experts. Hi, I'm Gabby from mythesiscoach.com. Now you, me, everyone involved in this crazy world called academia is always trying to find more time to write. This is something that we all face, whether you are an undergraduate student needing to get your assignments finished or a professor who wants to publish more articles. And it's something as a writing coach, which I deal with a lot. I deal mostly with thesis writing clients, and they juggle busy lives, and there are many pressures on their time, and they often say, I don't know, I want to write more, but how do I, when do I, in what way? So I'm always trying to develop as a coach and learn more. So recently I've been reading a lot around this topic, and in this video today I want to share with you the key messages from 3 books, particularly about academic writing productivity. I'm going to share the names and the authors of the books here in the video as I go along, and as well as this, I'll link to them in the video description so you can go ahead and read them. I always think it's interesting to get new perspectives to understand things better. Wow, sounds like I'm an academic. But these 3 books, while they're all pushing towards the same thing, which is eventually being able to produce more good academic writing, they have different ways of going about it. So I thought I'd go through each of them, share their core message, maybe inspire you with some ideas or inspire you to go ahead and read the full books and hopefully make our academic writing more productive, more pleasant, and who knows, perhaps even enjoyable. So let's dive right in. Book number 1 is How to Write a Lot by Silvia. Now, I thought this book was hilarious. I lay on the couch right over there and I read it all in the afternoon because it's written with a very dry sense of humor, which I love. But that aside, Silvia's main idea is that in order to write a lot, you need to make writing slots and you need to stick with them. He calls them appointments with your writing. Silvia says if you have an appointment in your calendar for a lecture you need to give or an appointment for a doctor's appointment you need to keep, you would never miss that. And he says just like that, you need to make an appointment with yourself to do your writing and you need to stick to it. It doesn't say it has to be every day. You can do it every 3 times a week, 2 times a week, whatever. But you diarize that time, you block it out. It doesn't get encroached on. It's your special writing time, and you stick to it. And he says these things are really easy to do, but we don't do it. But if we did it, we would be writing more because we would consistently be having a writing habit. He talks a lot about habits. So for him, it's very much about taking action, finding times, writing it down, sticking to it, and thereby writing more. And he says some writing sessions will be amazing. You'll do a lot. Some will be lousy and you'll struggle through every word, but inevitably by sticking to those times you will be writing more. And as it becomes a habit, then you think less about it, you struggle less about it, you're less tortured about it because it's something that you just do. So that's the crux of Silvia's book. Moving on to book number 2, it's Making Time to Write by Kathy Mazak. Mazak's approach is perhaps more emotional or perhaps more psychological in a way than the approach by Silvia. While the strategies that she proposes, like making times to write and stick to it, are the same, she delves more into the psychology behind it and also weaves it into the wider system of academia. So she says that what's happened to us in academia is that we have got so sucked into the system and all the additional pressures within that world, like teaching, grading, meetings, consulting, service, all of that stuff, that we don't make time to write. And yet writing is actually the thing that moves our career forward. So the thrust of her book is really about centering writing within our lives. Now, while the book is very much directed towards people in the field of academia, I think it holds true for students as well. True for academics, we need to be writing to move our career forward. But for students at master's or PhD level, you also need to be writing in order to move your thesis forward. And I was really inspired by Mazak's idea of centering your writing. So making it the main thing that you build the rest of your schedule around. And I don't know about you, but when I get busy, writing is always the first thing that falls off my plate because I'm just like, there's too much else going on. But she argues very much against that and says, no, the writing must be the first thing. Other stuff can fall off your plate, but don't lose the writing because that's the really core thing. As well as then talking about setting times to write and sticking to those, she also focuses on that idea. She calls them soaring states and slugging states. And soaring states are those times when you write, or the time of day when you write and things just flow. So for me, that's very much in the morning. I'm a great morning writer, or very late evening, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 a.m. That's when I can really sit down and the words just pour out of me, as opposed to slugging time when you sit down and work and you just struggle to get every word down. So she very much advocates being intentional about when you put those writing sessions, to put them in your soaring slots, and those go in first, and then you build the rest of your timetable around that. So that's Kathy Mazak's book. And number 3 is Write Your Dissertation in 15 Minutes a Day by Bolker. So as opposed to the other 2 books which I've shared today, in this book, very much the view is pushed towards needing to work on your thesis a little bit every day. She says 15 minutes a day is a great start. She actually says in the book, well, obviously you can't write your whole thesis in 15 minutes, but it's just a catchy title. But a start is to do something on it every day, even if it's just 15 minutes. And a lot of that is about centering writing. So she very much emphasizes bringing writing in wherever you are. Like if you just kind of signed up for your PhD, you might sit and write about your feelings around doing that for 15 minutes. Or if you've got struggles making time in your schedule, you might write about that. Or perhaps if you come across a new methodology, you might write about how that'll be suitable for your studies. Writing, writing, writing. She talks about bad writing, messy writing, and that's all fine as long as you're writing. She talks about writing your way into the project. So that's one of the main things that she highlights in her book. But also what I really like is that she talks about taking ownership of your thesis. Nobody has more at stake about the thesis than you do. So it's up to you to take control and to drive the process. But whereas the other authors speak about creating small writing chunks and then sticking to them, she very much says consistency, every day, sit down and to be working on it. So there we have it, 3 approaches to academic writing productivity. So I'd love to know in the comments, do any of these really resonate with you? It's funny as a writing coach because I've been writing for so many years, and now I'm reading about writing productivity systems and thinking, okay, like which of these mirror what I do? I don't write every day. I do love the idea of soaring states. I've been really inspired by centering writing in my career, that idea from Kathy Mazak. So let me know in the comments which of these ideas resonate with you, which of those ideas are you going to adopt and take forward, which books are you keen to read. Remember to subscribe to this channel. I love hearing from you and learning about your writing journeys, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you in the future. Okay, bye-bye.